Insidious is back. That's right, he's back. Whoever Insidious is. Do you know what it means? The word? I've tried using it many times. Still don't know what it means. Comment below and let me know what Insidious means. Insidious Chapter 2. Yup. The movie's back. The movie franchise that scared the shit out of you. It made you shit in the movie theaters. All the seats were full of shit. Back then, in the year 2011, April. Yep, I remember that because it was a Q&A in the audience. So this movie, it's not getting as good of reviews as Insidious Part 1 did. People are saying it's not as fresh, it's not as scary, and yes, I do agree, but you know what, I gotta say, for a sequel to a horror movie, it's pretty damn solid. I mean, for starters, Patrick Wilson. They totally change up his character. One, you know, what makes him have a lot of range in this movie compared to all his other films is he doesn't get naked at all. You know, he's always naked in one of his movies. Then I saw Insidious 1 before I saw Insidious 2, and he was in his underwear, and I'm like, that's the Patrick Wilson we know. This one, he doesn't do it. He really transforms in this movie. I would totally suck Patrick Wilson's dick with his clothes on. He is actually really fucking good in this movie. He has to play a much darker role. You know, he's essentially playing two characters in this film. You know, it's a demon haunting him. And he does a really excellent job. He's kind of scary. Reminds me a little bit of Jack Nicholson in this movie. You know, he's not winking to the camera as much, but he does do a great job. I mean, there's a lot of things that are solid about this. I love it in the terms of how it's a great part 2. Like, they call this Insidious Chapter 2, and that is the perfect title for it. Just like how Bad Boys is the perfect title for that movie. Because they are boys who behave badly, and they are black. But Insidious Chapter 2 has that vibe because it's a sequel that literally picks up from where we left off. Like, I saw the first one moments before I saw the second one, and it just feels like the story is continuing. It feels like this is the extended 90 minutes of the first film. And I like how they change it up a lot too. Like, it feels more like a domestic thriller, you know? It kind of reminds me of The Shining in a way. What's just cool is that it completes the story. It's one of the few sequels that actually seems necessary. I would say that if you saw the first one, you have to see this one in order to see the story complete. And James Wan's directing, the cinematography, I love it. Those tracking shots where you're like, there's a ghost in that corner, but the fucking woman doesn't see it. Goddamn Rose Byrne's always walking around places and never fucking notices there's a ghost nearby. Idiot. But you're hot, Rose Byrne. You're fucking hot. Look at you. Damn. The things I would do to you. She was an X-Men First Class. More like X-Men Nice Ass. She's also in Bridesmaids. More like vagina. And the effects are scary as ever, absolutely terrifying. Just the makeup effects alone will make you piss your pants. You will lose so much water weight by the end of this film. And the score, the eerie little screechy score, that right there gets your heart moving. You know, a lot of times when music plays in a horror movie, it surprisingly calms me down. In this particular film, it amplifies the fear. I will say though, there is some rather weak writing. There are moments that I just really don't agree with. They'd be major spoilers if I actually spoke about them. There's some times where it's like, that was really convenient, or I just don't believe the character's capable of doing that. Or that's a little cliche, you know? You get a lot of those moments, and it's not as terrifying as the first one because they're going for a different type of genre. And one thing that was a letdown to me too was like, I like these guys, Specs and Tucker. I think they're really funny, but I thought it was a little too funny. Like, there's a little too much comedy in this film for me. Way too much humor. I wish I could go into details, but that would ruin the movie for you. Everyone does at the end. It's not as good as the first one, it's not as scary as the first one, but throughout the whole time, it's very interesting. It's cool to see this story just finish and continue. It's awesome seeing these characters. The acting is solid. Yes, there are a lot of things that don't work about it, but for the most part, everything's pretty damn good. Let me get straight to the point here. All in all, I gotta say, Insidious Chapter 2 got it right. Alright guys, thanks for checking out my review for Insidious Chapter 2. Why don't you go ahead, scroll that comment box below, and tell me, where can I find Rose Byrne? And if you want to go ahead and follow me on Twitter, you should click the link right here. Ha! It would be so insidious. Did I use it right? And if you want to see more in-depth review, the ultimate spoiler in-depth review of Insidious Chapter 2, go ahead and check out my show called Reasons to See that I do with my buddy Jerry. We have special guests on the show, Thomas. He is Scottish, he is strong, he is insidious. Still don't know what that fucking word means. And last but not least, if you want to get updated every time one of my reviews is out, go ahead and click on this button by my dick to subscribe. That's right. this insidious looking penis. Sounds hot, doesn't it? Sounds sexy. Insidious, that means an old wooden ship.